Hey y'all, what is up? I'm here to share with you another Beanspiration. And you know I'm no expert. I'm just a girl who loves God, trying to spread love and peace and joy to whoever wants it. So what I wanted to share this week is you get to choose, right? I've said this before, but I'm saying it again because it's really important that people realize you get to choose your experience in life. And no matter what the circumstances, there's always a way out, right? There's always another way to achieve what you're looking to achieve. So one example for me this week, I have a YouTube show podcast that I'm on my third episode, and the third episode was supposed to come out Friday. And the week before I was supposed to interview a guest, the guest canceled on me, couldn't reschedule for, soon enough, basically. And so I had another guest who I was set to interview pretty much the day before it's supposed to come out. The guest mixed up the date, couldn't interview them, booked studio time, everything. So I, basically made the most of it. I used my time in the studio the best that I could. And I also ended up interviewing the guest via Zoom because, we were able to just do that since it was last minute to make it happen. And so I could have just gotten discouraged and been like, you know what, I'm not going to do this, or just forget it, or whatever the case is, or just like this thing's always happening to me, or this is, I could have really just been in my feelings about it. And so what I had to do was pretty much let go of how I thought things were going to go, right? Like I wanted it to go a certain way, I planned it out, etc. I wanted it to go that way. But it's not always in life that things are going to go the way you want to go, and you got to be able to release it and surrender to the moment and reality of what's going on and make the most of it. There's always a way out. There's always another way. But a lot of times we don't want to accept that other way. We don't want to accept the other options because that's not the way that we pictured it or planned it or envisioned it. Another example, literally right back to back to back. My mother-in-law was turning 60, having a birthday party. She's been planning it for at least over a month. Party planner, DJ, all that good stuff. Really make it nice. And the weather was super disrespectful. If you guys are in New York or tri-state area, this weekend was terrible with the weather. We went from 90 degrees a couple of days ago to 51 degrees. So, and it was stressing me out. I don't know why. I'm sure it was stressing her out, but for real, I was just like, dang, is this weather going to change? I know it could still turn around. Whatever. It did not turn around. But when I tell you that we had a blast, we really made the most of it, and enjoyed ourselves despite the weather, despite the rain, still went on with it. And a lot of times we tell ourselves, because of our present circumstances, what we see around us, that we can't still enjoy our experience, that we can't still, embrace it and make the most of it. We'll just be like, oh man, it rained on my parade. You know what I'm saying? But you don't have to be in that position. You don't have to be in that mind state. You do get to choose to do it another way. And the scripture tells us that God makes a way out of no way. There's always a way. It's just whether or not we're willing to experience it, whether or not we're willing to embrace it and go after it in the way that was not our will, right? His will, not our will, how things are going to turn out. But we can change our experience by changing the way that we perceive the very thing that is going on in our lives. So when things don't go the way that you want them to go, ask yourself, am I willing to accept a different experience? Am I willing to accept a different outcome, even though it's not the way that I expected it? You know what? A lot of you probably know this app called Waze. Waze is a navigation app, and how Waze got super popular is because it would reroute you, right? So it would reroute you and find you the best route based upon the traffic and based upon, different circumstances that come up. And that's why it's been so successful. And so people are faithful by Waze because of the fact they're like, okay, Waze is if it's telling me to go a different way, then that means that that's the right way, right? If it's telling me this way is trash, don't go, it's going to be traffic, whatever, then that means I better follow Waze because that's what it is. And so we have to kind of look at it like that, whether you call it God, the universe, the circumstances, the greater power knows more than we know, right? The infinite intelligence knows more than we know. And so there may be a reason why things turned out the way that they did. There may be a reason why circumstances had to go this way, but we got to trust that it's for our greater good, right? Because all things work together for our good. No matter whether it feels good or not, you may have a final destination that you're looking to reach. And because of the way that circumstances were supposed to work out according to you, you maybe would not have been equipped for it, or you maybe wouldn't have arrived on time, or you maybe would have, missed that moment. But because God changes things to make it so that the circumstances are right, whatever experiences we got to go through to get to that final destination is right, and we get there on time, not according to our time, but according to the right time. So most important part is to stay prayed up, to make sure that you're connected with your higher source, because when you're connected with your higher source, then you can hear the rerouting. Then you can sense, okay, this is not right. Then you could be at peace with the new direction that you got to go with. But if you're not connected to your source, then you might miss that moment, right? But again, you get to choose your experience. You get to choose how you view things. And I hope this helps you have an amazing, wonderful week. See you next time.